Getting over this need, this urge to talk about things all day long, and instead just getting to it. Instead of festering in our minds and falling down those deep, dark holes of fear and doubt, we could just get to doing the thing. I do my best work in silence. Shout out to my man, Harris Rosenblatt, who dropped this quote on me a couple of months ago. And I loved it immediately because to me, this is an even more powerful take on this idea of letting our actions speak for themselves. Now, let's be honest. How many times have you talked yourself up to get other people to be impressed, to get other people interested in you, or to make yourself sound more important or more special, more powerful, whatever, than you actually are? I know I have. I know I've definitely talked myself up. Sometimes it's because I would want other people to believe about me. Sometimes it's because I want to believe my own bullshit. I want to tell myself that I'm greater than I actually think or believe that I am. But words at the end of the day are just words. It's just vibrations of air that we subscribe meaning to. But it doesn't produce an actual tangible result. Yes, to say it is to begin believing it, but that's just a drop in the bucket. Our actions are what really matter. And in fact, when I'm not spending time and energy talking about something, I have more energy and effort to put behind the thing that I want to do. So why do we spend so much time talking about it? Well, because it's easier. It's easier to just talk about it all day long, right? I could sit here and I could record a whole podcast about all of my greatest dreams and intentions, but that would be 1 hour that I just spent talking about something without actually doing it. When you really break it down and you look at it at the end of the day, anybody who sits there and tells you about all these extravagant things and ideas and talking themselves up, it's just vibrations of air that don't actually amount to anything. Now, somebody can put on a great performance. It can be really compelling, convincing even. Wow, you sound like a really intelligent person. Man, it sounds like you're up to some really amazing stuff. But if you just talked about it for a whole hour, what did you actually do? What did you actually get done? And this is something that so many of us are accustomed to in this day and age because we can impress people. We can sell a really awesome portrait of ourselves. But do we have the actions and the results to back it up? That's where it gets hard because that's the hard part, right? It's easy to talk about something, but to let my actions speak for themselves, to follow through with the things that it actually takes to create results, to see a project to fruition, to actually complete something that I said I was going to do. Now, that's something that's unique. That's something that is becoming more and more of a rare commodity in this day and age. The man who shows you with his actions who he is, who delivers on what he said he was going to do by letting his actions speak for themselves. Now, that's becoming a rarity. Right? We're almost at the point where we're hoisting monuments up for guys who can actually deliver on a commitment because it's such an uncommon practice to see these days. And now I get it. This is not something that we're born knowing how to do. It's another practice. It's another thing that we can get good at. Getting over this need, this urge to talk about things all day long, and instead just getting to it. Instead of festering in our minds and falling down those deep, dark holes of fear and doubt, we could just get to doing the thing. I do my best work in silence. Another meaning to this, another layer to this is I do the best stuff when I don't care who's watching. And in fact, I do my best stuff when no one's watching because then there's nobody to impress. There's nobody to occupy my attention. There's not another person who I'm worried about. What are they going to think of me? What are they going to say? I have to make sure that I look good in the process, that I make sure it seems like I got my shit together to impress them. Take them out of the picture. That excuse is gone. All that attention and energy that I would spend on trying to look good, trying to act like I got it all together, I could just apply that to what I actually want to do. Working in silence, working in the shadows, working out of the spotlight, man. This is where the best of our work is done. And here's the kicker, right? Here's the secret sauce behind it all. If you do your best work in silence when nobody's watching, then when people actually are, and you don't care because you're not paying attention to them, that's when they're going to really notice. That's when people are really going to be impressed by, wow, what a powerful guy. He's completely delivering on what he said he was going to do. He's achieving, he's motivating himself. He's pushing to a higher and higher standard and doesn't even seem like he cares who's watching. That's the ironic part. is if I just stay in my lane, if I just focus on what's in front of me and what I set out to do, not worrying about what anybody else thinks or anybody else's expectations of who I need to be and how I need to do me, then I get more done and I earn more respect, because every single one of us values actions over words any day of the week. I mean, just look to our political landscape. How many of us actually invest any trust or energy into what politicians say? How many of us, beyond politics, invest anything into what a leader says? It's always what they do. Show me somebody who is living and acting out what they say, instead of the person who just talks a big game. And I'll show you a real leader. This is where we get to do our best work, as Harris said, in silence. Let those actions speak for themselves, like sign language, right? Like the martial arts. I don't even need to make a sound, because I don't care if anybody hears it. It's all about me, holding myself accountable to it. And those actions, that consistency over time of delivering with what I said, regardless of trying to talk it up or trying to paint a pretty picture, that's what's going to earn respect. That's what earns trust. That's what earns status and responsibility, which is what every single one of us wants, isn't it? As the great Harris Rosenblatt once said, do your best work in silence. Let your actions speak for themselves. Walk the talk. Walk more, talk less. That's what this whole game is about. Show it. Show it. Because nobody really wants to hear it. We want to see it. All right. If this is the message you needed to have this morning, then I'm glad you tuned in. If there's somebody else you think needs to hear it, then make sure you shoot it over to them right away. And tune in next week for another Monday morning meditation. Much love, y'all.